Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and I'm here today at the Croatian Police Museum taking a look at a number of cool Croatian manufactured small arms. And today we have the Mini-Ero. Now, a little while back I did a video on the Ero submachine gun, which is an unlicensed but almost certainly somehow recognized copy of the Uzi. It was manufactured here in Croatia starting in 1993. Development was done in 92, production began in 1993. It was adopted by the Croatian army, 15 or 20,000 of them were manufactured, and it is a basically perfect parts interchangeable copy of the Uzi. Now, it was manufactured by a company called Arma, which was a subsidiary of a major Croatian industrial firm. They were also involved, well, they did, the development of the APS-95 prototype AKs that ultimately were not adopted in Croatia. But in addition to the regular Ero copy of the Uzi, they also made the Mini-Ero. Now, what's interesting about this is the Ero is a perfect copy of the regular Uzi. The Mini is sort of a hybrid between the Mini-Uzi and the Micro-Uzi. So IMI in Israel made 3 different sizes of Uzi. The Mini-Uzi has a 197 millimeter barrel. That's just about 8 inches, a little under 8 inches. The Micro has a 134 millimeter barrel, which is like 5.5 inches. This comes in between, and it has a number of other features that kind of split the difference, as well as a completely different design of stock. So let me go ahead and show you up close what the Mini-Ero is. All right, so here is the Mini-Ero. We have 2 different markings that are worth taking a look at. First, right up here on the side of the receiver, we have Arma. That's the name of the company that manufactured it. And then on the underside of the receiver back here, we have Mini-Ero, which is the name. It's 9mm, 9x19, and the serial number. I suspect these started at 300,000. This is like just under 7,000 production. That would seem to fit with overall numbers, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. Like the regular Ero, we have selector markings in Croatian, so safe, semi, and full auto. The mechanics are identical to the Israeli Uzi, just different markings. And this retains the same, all the other same controls. So we have a grip safety on there. Your magazine release is in the base of the grip. This uses all standard Uzi magazines. Was it 20s, 25s, 32s? I've got a little short one in here at the moment. Now, just for comparison's sake, here is a Micro-Uzi. This is one that has led a hard life. But you can see it is, if I line the backs up, this is only about 1 inch shorter than the Mini-Ero. So first and foremost, the biggest difference between the Mini-Ero and the Mini-Uzis is the stock. The Mini-Uzi, just like the Micro-Uzi, has this side folding stock, just like that. Flips out, locks in place like so. The Croatians at Arma decided to go with a totally different style of stock. They copied the stock off the M84, which is in turn a copy of the Czech VZ61 Skorpion. So here's a Skorpion, this one. Actually, since we're in Croatia, this is a Croatian-made copy of a Skorpion. But we have the exact same style of two-wire, simple top folding stock. Now on the Ero, this has a bit more downward cant to it, and they have flipped the actual butt plate section over, but the length of pull on these stocks is identical. So honestly, my suspicion is that the overall length of the Mini-Ero was determined by the ideal length of the stock here. So that because when you collapse this, these rails are traveling inside the receiver and they go all the way up to the front here. So this length is essentially dictated by the stock, or vice versa. And by the way, once you have that collapsed in, you then squeeze this together and you can flip the butt plate up over the top, just like that. Also, worth noting the difference in rear sights. The small Uzis have a little flip sight, very similar to the regular Uzi sight. The Mini-Ero has a slightly more complex sight to it, although it's still a small rear aperture. You've only got the one aperture to work with. It doesn't flip, but you do have windage adjustment back here. And then the front sight is this style of threaded front post, where the post is offset from the center of the actual threading. So in order to adjust the windage, you just thread this, screw it in or out up to 180 degrees. We have a sling swivel on the side like a regular Uzi. The sling in the back is just hooked into the back of the receiver here. There's a little sling bar for it. Where the Mini-Uzi has sort of a short version of the regular Uzi handguard, the Mini-Ero has this little, just a simple sort of hand stop. Not sure exactly how one is supposed to hold this ideally, but you've clearly got a finger rest or two in there. I can take this apart for you. We can do a quick little disassembly here. You just fold the butt plate out of the way and then pull this tab back. That allows you to lift the top cover off. Note we do have the ratcheting safety system here from the Uzi. And then you can see the two stock bars right there. So they do in fact go all the way out to the front of the receiver. Pull those out of the way. We can then pull the bolt back just slightly, lift it up out of the gun. It does have a recoil spring integral, or locked in place. So that's the front of your recoil spring guide. This is very basic Uzi internals here, so nothing else really different. Push in on this tab and you can unscrew the barrel nut. Once that comes off, then you can just pull the barrel out. So the defining, probably the most relevant technical element of the Uzi and its related designs is the fact that the bolt telescopes over the barrel. So the breech face is back here with a bunch of the bolt hanging out in front. That allows you to keep the bolt heavy enough to operate. This is an open bolt, simple blowback style of action, and it allows that to work with a minimum receiver length. In order to fold the stock back up, we have this spring-loaded button. Push that in and it allows you to rotate the stock upward, and then it just slides back in like that. So there you go. There is the Mini-Ero field stripped. Unfortunately, I don't have a number I can give you on total production of these, nor specific production dates, unfortunately. But these are guns that were used by the Croatian police in some services, and they were also offered for export. So they were manufactured, they were sold for export, and I just don't have total numbers on those. But it's interesting to see how Arma took their experience making the regular copy of the Uzi and then decided with the smaller one to start making their own modifications. Like, we understand how to do this, now we're gonna make this one the way we think it ought to be. And you end up with a compact, but presumably not completely uncontrollable, mini submachine gun. So I'd like to give a big thanks to the Croatian Police Museum for giving me access to this guy to film and show to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you find yourself in Zagreb with a few hours to spare, definitely consider stopping by the Police Museum, checking out all of their cool exhibits on Croatian, and prior to that, Yugoslavian police services. Thanks for watching.